Well, good afternoon, West Ham fans. Russ on the West Ham Network. Hope you are all safe and well, my friends. It's Monday lunchtime. I said Friday. I wish it was Friday, but it's Monday lunchtime. And we welcome the first team back to Rush Green. The next, I think they're travelling today from Atlanta. So I have no doubt you're going to see a lot more news coming in and out of the club of players leaving or departing. So that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about a couple of players. One which have obviously affected transfer sort of policy this summer. And a little bit about Jacob Ramsey as well. If you like what we do, don't forget to give it a like, a comment, and a share as per usual. It helps out the channel. But not just our channel, as I said, every West Ham channel, they're all, it's a labour of love for most of us. So a little like, a little comment, subscribe maybe. We're close. It'd be great to hit 30,000 subscribers by the end of the year. I think that's more than possible. So if you aren't subscribing, please do. Just check the little button down there. If it's red, you haven't subscribed. So hit it. If it goes like a grey colour, as it says there, then you would. And a little like and comment helps. Anyway, let's talk now. We did our 5 things we've learned about the Bournemouth game, and one of the ones was Freddy Pots. Now, a little bit more into Freddy in terms of other transfer rumours. Now, we were heavily linked with a move for the Liverpool CDM, 22-year-old under 21 international and Euro winning international, 𝗟𝗨𝗡𝗖𝗛𝗧𝗜𝗠. However, an interesting sort of tidbits from ex-WHU employee suggests that the performances, I think, if we looked at the main beneficiaries from the summer series, I think Freddy Pots is one of those names. I think him, I think Diouf, I think Agad, I think Füllkrug. I think those guys have come out with flying colours. Preston as well, just to get his name on the front of West Ham's fans' lips. But Freddie is someone who's definitely come out of these series of matches with a lot more confidence for him, but also a lot more confidence with us as well. Obviously, we assumed he was going to be integrated into the first team, having had 2 very successful loan spells, one in for Wycombe in League One, one for Portsmouth in the Championship. And those wishes from our side have been met. I think, he will be, and I think he'll probably start. I think, as I said yesterday, I think the side which started yesterday would be pretty much the side that's going to start against Sunderland, maybe 1 or 2 depending on transfers we get in potentially. But it's been mentioned by X that our interest in Tyler has cooled because of these positive performances of Freddy Pots, as the preseason appears to have cooled our interest in him, which is probably why he's more. I think he's going to Lyon. I think we still have obviously one sort of major preseason left with the BS Cup this weekend, but I think we've seen enough from Freddie that he's ready for the step up. I think we've seen a lot more than I thought we were going to see. We've seen different facets of his game. We've seen the passing, we've seen a bit of visionary passing as well, and we've also seen the combative side. There was a double tackle, I think, yesterday, which was really warmed the cockles of my heart. So, yeah, I think, and it's no surprise that the move from Morton, it was almost like I always thought now, looking at it, maybe the move from Morton was very much seen as a backup in case, Freddie wasn't quite ready, which might have been. You can only assume so much in terms of the level of performance and also the level of opposition he has played against recently and the level of opposition he will be playing against in the Premier League. Some of the world's best midfielders you're playing against, and for me, that was what was good about the summer series. We were playing Premier opposition, maybe not 100%, but he didn't look out of place. That's the main thing. And 22 now he is. I think he's 20, 22, something like. It's now about cementing that position, because in theory, I said it this morning, he could be the next. And I don't put labels, but he could be the next Martin Label. We kind of say, he could be a one club man. He could be here for the next 10, 12 years, 13 years. You know, he's that young, and in that CDM role, you don't have to necessarily rely on pace. I mean, look at someone like Busquets and someone like that who was, you know, playing well into his late 30s. Anyway, let's not look too far ahead in the career of Freddy Pots. One player we won't see, and that's coming from Graham Potter, is, and again, sort of a where Tyler Morton was almost like a backup option to Freddie. I think Callum Wilson was a backup option to Mikel Antonio, or vice versa. You know, an elder statesman in the squad in terms of a striker. We've already got one with Fogru, but an even older person. Graham Potter confirmed that, I mean, technically Antonio has left the club, but not really, if that makes sense. He played, he scored 2 on against Boreham Wood, wasn't it? In a friendly last week. Was it week after? I can't remember. But he's confirmed in sort of news conferences around the Bournemouth game that he will not be in the squad this year. Asked a direct question ahead of the game yesterday. He confirmed he won't be offered a new deal, saying will he be part of the squad this season? No. Antonio leaves as West Ham's all-time top goal scorer in the Premier League, 68 goals in 323 appearances. We are led to be believed that he will be given a opportunity to say goodbye to the fans via social media, a video, that type of thing, but also an appearance at London Stadium this season. And I think that's probably right. He obviously, we had Tim Crane on last week, I think it was. He spoke about, obviously Antonio being the last of the bowling boys, so to speak, in terms of playing in a West Ham shirt at the bowling and currently in the squad now. So he is the last one of that. Obviously with Cresswell going, those two were the last 2 now, which is a sad time. It means it is it has moved. The squad has completely moved on now from the bowling. Yes, there's people like who have still played there, like Bowen still played there when he was for Hull. JWP played there when he was at Southampton, and Callum Wilson scored at Upton Park. He always scored against West Ham. So yes, a sad time, but I think, and again, to be honest, hindsight's going to be a great thing. We're going to judge whether this decision was the right decision this year. There are several clubs who are interested in Mikel, as his agent alluded to. Nothing sort of materialised as such. Maybe he was waiting for West Ham for a definite no. Sheffield United were interested in him in terms of drop down into the Championship and Saudi Pro League side. So let's see where we obviously wish Mikel all the best and take a vested interest in the rest of his career for the next sort of couple of seasons. But yeah, it is sad. It is sad. And again, we'll only judge at the end of this season coming whether it was the right decision to bring in Milt Wilson and not offer Mickey a little bit more than what he wanted. Yeah. Now, let's turn to some other players coming in. And now, we've been linked with 192 players, as you well know, and I think a goalkeeper will be resolved this week, and also a midfielder. Now, we've got a pursuit for Aston Villa's Jacob Ramsey, as you well know, 24-year-old England international, is subject of interest from the mighty Hammers for around £40 million, it looks like. Now, what is quite interesting is Villa seem to already be planning for his replacement. Reports coming out of Turkey that they are heavily linked to a move for 𝗟𝗨𝗡𝗖𝗛𝗓, former Norwich man who's currently applying his trade at Galatasaray in a deal that's worth around £30 to £35 million. Man City are also interested in signing him, along with several other Premier League clubs. It's claimed that Villa hold an advantage. Now, Galatasaray need to sell, as they've got a big Victor Osimhen bill to pay for. And he's very much like for Ramsey. He's 26, 2 years older, but an attacking midfielder and can play in the box-to-box role. The fact that Villa are already moving for Sarr suggests they are going to be offloading Jacob Ramsey, because it's very much a like for like, which will be music to our ears, potentially. There is a slight cockcrow-shaped issue, I think, coming down the track, particularly the news that James Maddison's out for the season. I would not be surprised to see Spurs make a move for Jacob Ramsey as a replacement. I think they've signed Polino, just about to sign João Polino on loan. But I think Jacob Ramsey is someone who would very similar role that a James Maddison would make. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him be added to Spurs' list as well as West Ham. So we'll have to wait and see. You know, obviously, I think as I said, I think we can't offer him. We can offer him London. We can offer him a decent wage. We can offer him a project. We can offer him. I mean, Potter's very good hype man in terms of his role within the side. We've heard that from the likes of Diouf and stuff, and KWP when they've both spoken to Potter. They've said how he sort of made them feel like they're a superstar and how they're going to make a massive impact and this and that, and they have a vision of what they're going to bring. But Spurs offer Champions League football, and I think that might be the deciding factor. But we'll have to wait and see what happens. I mean, I'm not assuming they have. I'm just putting two and two together. You think he would be someone also homegrown as well, so literally a like-for-like replacement for James Maddison as well. So let's see what happens, shall we? But as I said, what we'll try and do is keep you abreast of all the information as we get it. We'll have Hammer's headlines a little bit later on today, which give you the afternoon sort of headlines. But until next time, take care, stay safe, stay warm, stay humble, and I'll see you guys in a few hours' time. Bye, motherfuckers. Bye, yeah.